Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. As we all know, Microsoft now owns Activision Blizzard King, and really ever since they finalized this $70 billion purchase a little while back, it's been sort of a mixed reception and a mixed result. There's been some kind of cool things that have stemmed from it. There's also been a lot of pretty concerning things, and unfortunately, more bad news for potentially Call of Duty and several other things related to now Xbox and Activision have surfaced. So this starts with a new report from Bloomberg, but this is far from the only thing that is, potentially foreshadowing some unfortunate events for Call of Duty and Xbox alike. So Charlie Intel reports Bloomberg is reporting that Xbox is still not done cutting costs and that more cuts are on the way. This is coming after just this past week, a handful of other studios that working on other Xbox titles, not specifically Activision titles, but several other titles were shut down and, let go essentially, which is sucky, just flat out way to put it. Also reporting that Microsoft executives started to further scrutinize the Xbox division after the $70 billion purchase of Activision. So this is the new article from Bloomberg from Jason Schreier, who is a common name when it comes to insider information. Jason is pretty spot on with a lot of this stuff, but Microsoft's Xbox is planning more cuts after studio closings. So other staff at ZeniMax were cut earlier on, like I said, this week, and they talk about that a little bit. Xbox has declined to comment. There were various different parts of this article talking about these other studios being shut down, Arcane Austin, so on and so forth. There's also, though, this section, which talks a little bit about Microsoft and Activision, and it's just not really all that great. They say Tango and Arcane released games last year. They were looking to hire additional staff, under Xbox. They pitched new projects, but then ultimately were shut down. These cuts at Xbox come amid a wider contraction in the video game industry due to economic shifts following a period of rapid growth during the pandemic. Recently, Microsoft's gaming division has expanded more than any of its competitors via the acquisitions of ZeniMax and Activision Blizzard for more than $76 billion combined. In February, as some of you may recall, Microsoft cut 1,900 jobs, mostly at Activision Blizzard, a lot of that being some QA on Modern Warfare 3 and whatnot, which of course, as we've seen throughout several updates over the past few weeks, Season 3 Reloaded, for example, are incredibly broken, and you can't help but wonder, if there were more QA here, or if those people weren't let go, would we be having these same issues going on? But they're focused on cost cutting. The massive Activision Blizzard acquisition has ramped up scrutiny on the Xbox division from leaders at Microsoft, according to people familiar. In recent years, Xbox became deeply invested in Xbox Game Pass, a subscription service that offers unlimited access to hundreds of downloadable games for a monthly fee. It's honestly a pretty good deal as a consumer. To fill the service with new enticements, Xbox acquired dozens of studios, including outfits known for making smaller games such as Double Fine. They basically go on to say that Game Pass right now is not seeing major increases in revenue. In our data, Game Pass spending really had its big growth period in late 2019 through early 21, but then has since settled. While there's no indication that Xbox plans to ditch the Game Pass model, there are hints that its big bets have not paid off. And this is where the second part comes in that ties a lot more to Call of Duty specifically. And as we get into this and the remainder of the video, quick reminder, if you're new to the channel, every single day I got you covered with everything you need to know about Call of Duty, whether it's news, updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns, all things like that are right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button. Join us ultimately on the road to 1 million subs. And if you enjoyed this video, despite the rather unfortunate news, do me a favor, drop a like. It is always really appreciated regardless. Charlie Intel then goes on to say there's also a new report from The Verge, and they say that they're reporting Xbox executives have been debating for months whether or not to put Call of Duty on Xbox Game Pass because of how much revenue will be lost. Also discussions happening about increasing Game Pass's price. So this is the new article from The Verge inside of Microsoft's Xbox turmoil, which largely also talks about these various other studio closings that have happened recently, but then it goes into the more Call of Duty and Activision based information here. So they say inside Xbox, there's now uncertainty about what the future holds and questions over Microsoft's gaming strategy. While Microsoft is looking toward a more PC-like future for its Xbox console, the company continues to battle a slowdown in Game Pass subscribers, lackluster console sales, and game launch delays. Microsoft has also had internal debates about whether to put the new releases of Call of Duty into Game Pass. This is a big thing with specifically Black Ops 6 or Black Ops Gulf War coming later on this year, about whether or not this is going to be available on Game Pass day one. They've also seemingly done some updates to older Xbox titles. Like I think Black Ops 2 got a title update a couple of months back that a lot of us assumed was a prep for it also coming to Game Pass. So if you were a Game Pass subscriber, you could end up getting Black Ops 2, OG Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 2, all those older COD titles with your subscription, and it probably sort of cause resurgence on those older titles and maybe increase those Game Pass sales a lot because people want that nostalgic feeling with COD. But then also with the new Call of Duties launching, if it's a day one availability on Game Pass as part of that subscription model, instead of paying $60, $70, $80, $90, $100 for your copy of Black Ops 6, let's say for instance, depending on which version you get, you could pay the Game Pass monthly subscription, and technically that game now is just a part of that. And you know, pricing wise as a consumer, that's honestly a pretty good deal. But for Xbox and Microsoft, maybe not so much. They say, I understand this is a debate that's been going on internally for quite some time, with concerns from some that the revenue that Call of Duty typically generates for Activision Blizzard will be undermined by Game Pass. If you're unaware, within, you know, months, Call of Duty is making billions of dollars just out of the game sales outright. Charlie Intel sort of expands on this to a comment from Hope saying, wouldn't they be making more money if someone stays subscribed on Game Pass just because they want the discount technically on COD, as it's not just short term? You know, and Charlie Intel says that's not counting for the fact that you are only paying one monthly fee to access a lot of different games, not just COD. COD makes $1+ billion within 30 to 60 days on its own every year. Then also obviously throughout the year when the new seasons drop, when we see major updates, more bundles, more battle passes, you might think, yeah, Call of Duty's not at its peak like it was during MW 2019, but the money that this game is, you know, turning over every single season is insane because of the microtransactions and the additional in-year updates. And that's not to mention the other people that continue to buy the new game even though it's not, you know, available that day. If they're buying it in season 2 or season 4 or whatever, plenty of people are still doing that as well. So because of that, you could almost have a really interesting situation. I'm told that Microsoft has also considered increasing the price of Game Pass Ultimate again. These are only considerations, so a final decision could still mean we see a future Call of Duty release appear in most versions of Game Pass. The debate internally reflects the fact that Microsoft's Xbox strategy has shifted from delivering its games exclusively in a Game Pass to considering bringing more Xbox games to multiple platforms. So essentially the major concerns here that impact Call of Duty directly are the future cost cutting that Microsoft is still looking to do and Xbox is still looking to do to save money. That could impact several Call of Duty studios. We have a ton of Call of Duty studios working on Call of Duty as a whole right now, whether it's on the mobile front or as a support studio doing various different map updates or lighting things, audio, this, that, and whatever else. There's a lot of hands in the pot right now, a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and that could directly impact those cost-cutting, you know, maneuvers in the future could directly result in more problems and more layoffs for Call of Duty. In addition to that, Call of Duty on Game Pass has been a huge topic for pretty much the entirety of this acquisition process, and now it's gone into jeopardy on whether or not it's actually financially viable for Microsoft to even do that. And as an Xbox player, that's definitely not good news for you. And then in the future, who knows what that means long-term for Call of Duty as well, with its availability going into things, you know, way further down the road. So this entire adventure has been a roller coaster, to say the least. As it stands, though, yeah, definitely not the most promising information for COD's future, I would say. That being said, that is going to wrap things up for this video, though. If you enjoyed, do me a favor, drop a like on it. It is always really appreciated, as it does really help the channel grow. And if you're new to the channel or you simply have not subscribed yet, let's change that. On your way out, be sure to hit that subscribe button to guarantee you're always up to date with everything going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day. I'll catch you later. Peace out.